Hello there, long time no see. I am Britt from BZ Crochet, and I've officially graduated with my master's degree. Yay! So it's been a little while since I made a crochet video because I was finishing up my degree in grad school, but I have been crocheting in the meantime, and I have some really cute produce inspired jar covers to share with you. I have plans to make even more, but it's been a while since I did a video, so I thought I'd just record this, put it up, and we're just a work in progress as always, and if I make any more, I'll just make another video. One thing I want to say at the start of this video though is that this is not necessarily a tutorial of how to make these. I will be explaining how I created them and some of the like patterns that I used or techniques I used, but I won't be going through round by round demonstrating how to do it. However, I think if you are an intermediate crocheter or maybe even just a beginner, then you should be able to pick up my techniques no problem. It's basically making circles and then making them really tall, and then there's just like a few different techniques around the end to tie it all together and give it that look. It's a lot to do with the choice of yarn too, like the colors that you choose. But anyway, that's just my disclaimer at the beginning, and let's talk about these jar covers. The jars that I have today are glass jars in two different sizes, and they are both recycled glass jars from food. So this size jar is from a glass pizza sauce container that I just washed out after using and saved, and then the taller one is a spaghetti sauce jar. I am always saving glass jars after we eat the food that's in them and trying to find new ways to give it life. I like to keep the glass jars and make use of them. So that's how I came to make all of these jar covers. Anyway, so the first one that I ended up making is this cute little strawberry jar cover. I saw something like this on Pinterest, and it was like a beer cozy, like a strawberry beer cozy, and I thought that's really cute. I don't really drink beer, nor do I use beer cozies for any beverages, so why don't I make a strawberry jar cover? But I looked it up on YouTube and I did not find any patterns or tutorials for strawberry jar covers that came up in the results, so I decided to just wing it and come up with my own. You will notice that all of these jars too have plants in them. These are pothos clippings, and I can't really like show you the bottom of these too much because they're full of water, and I'm just growing these pothos plants in these jars of water. I use an acrylic yarn from the brand Yarn Bee in the color red, and I believe this is the Big Twist. The green is the Big Twist 100% acrylic, and this is in the color, please tell me what color you are, forest green. And they are both worsted weight yarns, so I used a 5.5mm hook on them. To do the red part, I just did this fun little technique where I did a slip knot, chain 2, and then into the first chain I did, I believe, 10 half double crochets, and then I just used the technique of, then for the second round I chained up 2, I did, I think, 2 half double crochets in each stitch, and then for the third round I chained up 2 and I did one half double crochet and then an increase in the next, and did that back and forth, and then I believe after that I just crocheted 1 half double crochet in each stitch, and that got me all the way up to here. Once I got to here, I fastened off and attached my green yarn, and for this section let me see, what did I do? Oh, so for this section I did a single crochet all the way around just to establish the green, and then I did, it looks like, it was a long time ago that I made this, it looks like I did a single crochet, skipped a stitch, did 6 double crochets into one stitch, skipped a stitch, that is either a slip stitch or a single crochet, skipped a stitch, did 6 double crochet, and repeated that pattern. So by doing 6 double crochets into one stitch, you get that rounded effect, and then you just, again, I'm sorry, I can't remember, I either slip stitched or single crocheted into, I skipped a stitch and then did it into there to attach it back here, to fasten it back, and then skipped a stitch and did the 6. Okay, does that make sense? I'm sorry if it doesn't. Leave me a comment if you have a clarifying question. And then I just had this like yellowish cotton yarn. I just had some scraps of that, and then I just sewed that in. So I don't know if you can tell, but if you look, if you peek in there a little bit, you can see all of the yellow tails from where I sewed in those seeds. But that part was probably the most tedious because strawberries have a lot of seeds, and you kind of want to do like a every other type of thing, because I don't know, just look at a strawberry and do your best with that. But yeah, I think this one's super cute. I love the red, it pops, and I just think it's adorable. So that was the first jar cover I did. After that, I did this pineapple, and I love this pineapple so much. I'm really proud of this one. This one involved a certain amount of winging it, okay? So I began it the same way that I described for the last jar cover until I started working my way up. And then I tried to use inspiration from my baby blanket that I made. So this is actually the same yarn that I used for the baby blanket. It's Yarn Bee Pale Yellow, I think it's called, and it's 100% acrylic. This is also the yarn that I used for my sweater vest ribbing. It is, I think I love that yarn, 100% acrylic in spring green. I did 1 round of single crochet up, and then every 3rd stitch I did a single crochet and 2 double crochets. And then once I made a full round, I actually stopped, chained up 2, and then turned my work. So instead of going like in a continuous circle, I would do a round, stop, go up, and then come back the way I came in order to achieve this. And then I just did my best to do the same thing I did for that blanket in terms of skipping 2 stitches and then doing a single crochet and 2 double crochets in the next. It didn't always come out even, so I just did a lot of eyeballing with this one, and somehow it miraculously turned out to kind of look like a pineapple. And then once I got to the top, I did the same thing where I fastened off with the yellow, attached the green, and then I think I did a round of single crochet all the way around. And then for this one, it looks like I did a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet, and then 2 triple crochets. At the top of the second one, I think I chained 2 and then slip stitched back into the top of the triple crochet, did another triple crochet, and then in the next stitch did a double, and the next stitch did a half double, and the next stitch did a single, and then worked my way back up and down that same way all the way around. And I think I did the math so that like it would be even with the amount of stitches. So that's roughly how I did this one. I think it's so cute. No! This pothos just slipped into the water. They're actually growing and forming roots, which is really cool. This next one I am not as proud of. It is an eggplant. I want to redo this one. I want a redemption shot at making an eggplant, but this is just what I came up with. Basically, I did the same thing as the first one in purple all the way up. This was just some acrylic purple yarn that I received secondhand, as well as some green yarn that I received secondhand, also acrylic. And I think once I got up here, I switched to this green. I think I did a round of single crochet. So then my second round, to get these things, I chained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I think, and then did a single, half double, 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 double crochet, and then slip stitched to fasten, slip stitched across, and did that same thing where I chained and then worked into those stitches and then attached it. And then after I did that round, I just continue single crocheting all the way up. And then when I was done, I used my my tail yarn to attach the ends of these to the purple so that they weren't sticking up or out. I don't really like this one that much. I think it kind of looks like an eggplant, like the purple color is good, but I think I'm going to try again at making this look like an eggplant. And I think down here, I'm actually going to continue increasing and then decreasing to try to get it that like bulge at the bottom, like how eggplants are kind of like. And then for the top, I think I'm actually going to try to make a separate piece that's green and with a hole in the top, and then place it over it so that it looks a little bit more like those leaves at the top of an eggplant. And I might use like a more earthy colored green. But that's how I made this. And then the last jar cover I have to share with you is one that I am probably the most proud of. I mean, I'm pretty proud of this pineapple, but let's take a look at this corn husk and just admire it because, wow. I am really proud of this one. To achieve this one, I used the same yarns and the same colors as I did the pineapple, the pale yellow and the spring green. First, I just made a yellow jar cover. I think I did it, yep, just half double crochets all the way up, pretty standard. And then I started a second jar cover with this green yarn, and in the bottom, instead of doing half double crochets around it, I actually just did double crochets and worked up a few rounds till I got here, maybe worked like one row up. I think I did single crochets for this. I did about 7 stitches wide and just single crocheted up for a while, and then I gradually began decreasing. Like once I got to this row, I decreased in the middle, did another row, decreased in the middle, until I got to this point where I chained one at the top and fastened off. And then I left a long tail because then when I was completely done, I used that tail to sew it to the yellow jar cover. But at that point I fastened off, so then I attached a new yarn down here and single crocheted across the same. And I tried to attach the husks at different heights to give it a little bit of variation. And yeah, so each of these is like a different period where I attached yarn. I hope that makes sense. Alright, well those are my produce farmers market jar covers. Please leave me a question and I will do my best to answer in the comments. I'm going to put a lot in the description too, so if there's anything that I want to clarify or link or just list out, I'm going to put it in the description like I always try to do, so check that out. And thanks so much for watching. I hope to be making more crochet videos more often now that I am out of grad school, and hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye!